We live. Hello, welcome back. It's been a couple of days. You know why? Because a cyclone decided to come on through here. We had the last bands just coming through. So, did you get some weather down where you were at? Because there
Yeah.
was it. The bands were so big that you could see them. And which way they were going this way? They were going opposite. And I had to look up what's the difference between a cyclone and a hurricane. There's not much difference. One rotates one way and is in the north, and one rotates the other way and is in the south. And that's the difference. And so I was lucky to have gotten the outskirts of it. I my what we have, because we live out in the middle of nowhere, and B can attest to this because they you've been to my house. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in a neighborhood just smack dab in the middle of nowhere. And so we require Wi-Fi boosting for even our signal in our thing. So I am like literally I'm in the yard past the garden going like this, trying to get signal in the rain. I'm like, no,
Oh,
I can't do it today. I don't think I can do it today, but I can do it tomorrow. So we're doubling up. Tonight we got B. She is rebooked because Irish had something going on. Hopefully we can get Irish back on. But we have Tim Dunn and some others that are hopefully going to come on. But we're in a bit of a flux. This is the last week of this, and that's okay. I knew it was going to happen. I have personal ghost stories that I've been keeping just on the break, just ready. But B had told me tidbits of this ghost story at my dining room table while we were having coffee and tea, and y'all need to hear this one. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
you want the one that I told you there?
I have down here of a certain it's Zimbabwe, right?
Okay.
Are
Let
you going
me
to tell that one? If you don't, that's fine. If you feel it's too
I'm gonna
personal,
ask right now if it's okay if I tell it because it is his story as well.
gotcha. Mhm.
Um and okay. He hadn't been comfortable with it before.
Mhm.
So I've been feeling a lot of anxiety with doing this. So um I think it's okay. So we're gonna try.
Okay.
Um if I
And
have
first, let me
any
just preface this. Do you see how she did that? Do you see how she did that? That's a lot of what us mediums sort of go through. There is a bit of, how do you call it? There's a conversation that happens in our head, and we have to come correct with the deities that we work with, the spirit guides that we work with, and any type of connection that we have in the ghosty realm. Otherwise, it's hell for us later on. So
yeah.
I really
And not
admire what you
every
just did.
not every spirit I come across I have a connection with throughout my life. Actually I wasn't super aware that I still had the connection with him.
Mhm.
But after telling you that story and then contemplating telling it here, I realized that he was paying attention.
Paying attention. They
So,
kind of they ebb and flow. They do come and
yeah.
go, and especially they know when they're being talked about. Absolutely, that ears are burning. It happens for ghosts as well. Mhm.
Yeah. So this fellow was also a full body medium during his lifetime. So I feel like he definitely keeps a foot in this realm. You know,
Okay.
he takes care of his kids, and he was the chief for his village. So, you know, there's responsibility there. He was also the healer for his people. Uh,
Wow.
as the full body medium, that's their job,
Right.
which I get. My whole life, I've said that I was a healer. In you know, I'll say I'm a healer before I tell people that I'm a medium. People don't get that,
Yeah.
especially since I'm a suppressed medium. When I was a kid, I spirits tried to use me as a conduit. I suppressed it. I had my own medical issues with that. I was able to get out of it, but since then I've had quite big walls up that to help me with it.
Good.
I think we were talking about you
Yeah.
gotta learn how to block, and I'm like, yeah, kind of
Yeah.
a problem. Gotta learn how to unblock a little bit, but
Mhm.
still maintain control.
Yep.
But as such, there's definitely the healer. Everybody wants me to go into the medical profession. Really don't want to do that. I've done it enough.
It's rough. It's rough.
So, in my early 20s, I went to Zimbabwe as a personal assistant to a gal who runs a charity here. It has one name here, different name over there. Basically, she raises money here to sponsor children going through school, all the way from kindergarten all the way up through university. Prices are a lot cheaper there than they are here. And then they also help build huts and bathrooms and, away from gardens and that sort of thing, just to help out. So I went as the personal assistant to the gal who runs this, and she had been going to Zimbabwe for 20 plus years. She had first met this family when she first went there, and they immediately adopted her. So mom and dad were mom and dad.
Gotcha.
The siblings were her brothers and sisters. Those are now the adults, or the brothers and sisters are now the chieftain and the other people running the family. Mom and dad are now gone.
Mm-hmm.
Dad was a full body medium and healer.
Mm-hmm.
I went there not knowing much of this.
Uh-huh.
I knew a bit of her history there. I didn't know much about the family. We'd been in Zimbabwe for at least a night, and then we went out to the family property out in the country and, got set up, had dinner, chatting away into the night. That was the first time that it was pointed out to me that maybe I was a medium. Because I had told her about my childhood experience. And I go back to my hut because the rooms are their own individual huts with thatched roofs. It was really awesome. And I opened the door. It's a totally circular room, but in the corner next to the shelves where I had my clothes was this big man.
You're like, hello.
African descent. But when I see spirits, it's almost like I'm seeing a memory of them there.
Oh, that's a really interesting way of putting it.
Yeah. So
wow.
I'm only once have I actually seen the outline of somebody. Most of the time, it's kind of like if I had seen them standing there and doing all the things that they're going to be doing, and then I'm just remembering. That's kind of how it is for me right now. And so I see him standing there, and he's just like,
okay.
And I'm like, who are you? And he didn't answer me. He just kind of like got more intimidating. And I was like, yeah, you need to go. I was kind of Catholic at the time, so I did like a Catholic invocation of like, you need to be out. This is my space. Out. He moved to like the corner behind me, closer to the door. And I turned and I looked at him and I said, no. I said, out. And he left. And I continued on with my night and had, slept and whatnot. The next day, I joined the lady in her hut for breakfast. And I was like, yeah, so super weird thing happened last night. And I told her all about it. And she just kind of looked at me and goes, oh, oops.
Oh, oops, thanks, oops.
Oops? What's oops?
What's oops?
Oh, I didn't introduce you to Dad. oh, yeah, we're on his property. He was a medium.
Mm-hmm.
You should be introduced to Dad. So we went out there to his gravesite that was on the property. Sat down on the little bench that's there. Hi, this is B. Hello. Did the little ceremony and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really have issues after that.
And did
But,
have issues. Wow.
but yeah, it was super crazy. And then, did you want me to continue on with the second part?
You can if you'd like to.
So later, I was there for 3 weeks. That happened like, we might have been in the city for 2 nights and then went out to the country, but it was like, that was the first night that we were out in the country. And we were in Zimbabwe for 3 weeks. In the second or third week, the family was having a ceremony. This was actually the second ceremony that I'd been to. There'd been another kind of ceremony. I wasn't super sure what that was all about, but this was a very personal family ceremony that they were having. The eldest son of the chief, who's the eldest son of Dad, was having a hard time getting and keeping jobs to support his family. So they were having a ceremony to ask the ancestors to bless him and help him.
Okay.
So we're all in the kitchen hut. People are drinking. There's Imbira. Hi. Yeah, I'm. Bye. Thank you. There, Imbira being played, which is an instrument. This is the metal tongue.
Oh, the little, yes, I understand. They ting, 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 ting.
It's called Imbira, and it's local, native to Zimbabwe.
Okay.
So they were playing that. It was really cool. People were dancing, like just getting really into it. A lady couple people down from me was like doing this, which I thought was weird. Like, she's not getting up and dancing with other people, but whatever, she's dancing in her seat. And it continued and got a little bit more. And the lady I was with just kind of like nudged me, and she's like, "Do you know what's going on?" And I go, I mean, I guess not.
No, I guess no.
This lady over here is being possessed. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. Like, again, oops.
Yeah, cool. I'm, 22. I don't have a lot of experience with this stuff,
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, so I thought it was funny because she becomes possessed. They stop the music. They start talking to her, to the ancestor that's possessing her, and going, "Hey, we've called you here to help us in this thing." And the ancestor's just like, "We want to know why you made this decision." And he's like, "We didn't bring you here to talk about that. We brought you here to talk about this." "Yeah, we want to know why you, the chief, made this decision, because it was not what we told you to do."
Wow. I've met some sassy ghosts before, but I've never had them like, "Look here."
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Well,
like,
basically like, no. And right around then, I had this voice in my head just go, "Don't let them see you." And I'm like, what? You can't let that spirit see you.
Oh, crap.
I'm like, okay. So I got up and left.
And
I went, the mom at the time was still alive. She was pretty bedridden, but, and also had converted to Catholicism. So I went in there and was talking with her and telling them about how everybody said I look like a fairy when I'm dancing, and they had a good chuckle at that. the lady came back afterwards, and I just stayed in there for the rest of the ceremony.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I think that like I was scared that they would see me and try to possess me, but like I listen to the voices in my head sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't. But you know.
Yeah, you get a strong urge to be like, I got to go. Garçon, ticket please. I got to go.
I got to go.
If there's money's right here on the table, I got to go. I know. I'm not messing around with it.
That's there. I'm just out.
I got to go. I've done that. I've had a haul ass sometimes out of some sticky situations, and oh gosh, like on the island when we were on not this island, a different one. When we were on Tortuga, Grand Cayman, Bear and I thought that it was just like, let's go to a graveyard. Let's go collect some dirt on, and holy crap, I had some dark shadows zoom around, and this was on holy ground, so they couldn't come on holy ground, and they were trying to go around the edges to get to me, but I was in the middle of the cemetery. And then so you've met my husband and spent time with him. In fact, you're a gamer with him on a couple of things, and he does not raise his voice very often. He's really like whatever. All of a sudden I hear, and I am like recording, I am recording, and he's just like, "Hey, we gotta go now." And I'm just like, "Yes, sir, we do." I am running. I'm like, "He said we got to go." And then by the time I get to the car and get in the car, you see the shadow people go whoop, whoop, whoop. Like they're crossing the road to come to the car. And we're like booking. We are booking just to get out of there. And it was all good until it started raining. And what is water?
Yeah.
Not good. Like when you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you did that because you don't know what would have happened. You really don't.
I don't. And being as unprepared as I would have been then, that would not have been great. No. I mean, since I've started along this path, I've definitely had a few closer encounters.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
One was very investigatory. The other was more malicious. And let me tell you, you're not just coughing when you can actually feel the fingers around your throat.
It's true.
So, it's definitely a thing that I'm working with, trying to learn better so that, things get better.
And there's different layers. There's different levels of, like you said, you've got your walls and you want to bring them down a little bit so that you can, but then you're just like, wait a minute, hold up,
That's the intention here.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I have gotten out of my car, crossed the street, and it felt like somebody hit me in the face with a book, just smack. And there's nobody there. And I'm like, where am I? What's happening? What am I about to do that they're stopping me from? You got to think about the whole bigger picture of what's really going on before you can wrap your brain around it so that then you can learn to fight it. But then you've got to also know when you leave your house, there's certain levels. So it's like, do I have my oils checked? Do I got my crystals in the box?
Yeah.
Check. Do I have the jewelry? Do I check? Do I have the stuff? It gets crazy, but as a medium, you have to do this. Otherwise, we'll end up in a damn loony bin. I mean, that's the alternative.
When I was at your house, I think I was telling you like, oh, it's so nice to talk to somebody else that goes through this because you can feel so crazy, like
and
absolutely
alone,
insane and alone.
Very alone.
I strongly feel that there needs to be witchy counselors, witchy therapists. I'm sure that there are therapists out there who are also witches, but they do not advertise themselves as witchy therapists.
Well, we need to work on that.
That's what we need.
We do. We need to work on that because there needs to be some, even if it's just a, what do you call it? Like not decompression. um,
Venting.
venting, or like the wrap up, or like, like debrief, a debrief
Yeah.
session, like after a cleansing or whatever. It's like I just need to, so I
Yeah.
can, it's
Yep.
would be very helpful. It
Yeah.
would be very helpful not to have to do that alone.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's one of my ghost stories.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And
Yeah,
I
I
have to
appreciate
say
you.
that my I've got a lot of wind outside the window, and I'm like, please, not another branch. We had a branch go down about as big as Bear's arm in, like circumference, in between his car and my car, like right in between. I'm like, "Ooh."
What?
And what's interesting is that I
Ooh,
had
that
just
is
put
protective.
my extra like sprinkles of the salt, or whatever, of my protection salt on the floorboards of that, because his truck had died right after meet and greet. So it's just sitting there. And then I'm like, okay, this is the only car we have. It needs to stay boiling. It needs to stay good. And I just sprinkled and it just missed it. I'm like, woo!
Ooh,
I know.
yeah. Right?
Things. I
Ooh,
know. But the lights are starting to flicker, so I might let you go
yeah. Sounds good.
again.
I know we lost our power on Friday, so
How long was
we're
yours out?
just a couple of hours.
Okay, yeah, we
But
lost
it
it
was
for a
like
couple of hours, then it came back
us
on, and then it
all the
went
way
back
up to
out.
Portland.
Oh, it's the wind. The
Yeah.
wind's bad, but I think you're getting more of the storm than we are. We just have
Getting
water all around us. That's the other issue for
out
us.
at the coast, they're getting what's called king tides.
Yes.
And I also had seen a notification for tornado warnings out
Yep.
there. Like,
Yep.
oh, imagine
Yep.
that. Tornadoes in Oregon on the
Yep.
coast.
Yeah.
That's not
That's the
something
thing.
that happens here.
That's the thing. I was Baird picked me up from work because we're down to one car, and I'm watching the water go over the bulkhead down at my work, and I'm like, "Hey, babe, are you coming to get me?"
You
I was
coming?
like, no, and I
Night.
had done a little video on Facebook to be like, here it comes. You can see it coming in, and you can see it off in the distance. And I think it's actually quite like, wow, like, oh, a star, oh, excited,
Yeah.
and
As
then,
long
and that
as you're
was at
safe.
low. Yeah, when you're safe. And then I'm at low tide. And then somewhere around 4:45, you could just, you can see the splash. And I'm like, and here we go. Garcon, check. I gotta go.
Time to go.
Go. Well, thank you very much for coming on and spending time with me. And you're always welcome to come back at any time. Do you have a channel that you have that you're working on, or anything that you're working on social media wise that you need people to see?
You are welcome to check out Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. That's what
Yeah.
it's called. I might actually get my Instagram going again. But I think all of my videos are private. I don't think I have any public videos right now. There might be some altar cloths from me in the future that I might be asking you to sell for me.
Okay.
But yeah, that might be a thing in the future, in the near future. I'm working on it. Because
all right, cool.
Tell me that you don't want this.
I want this. I do.
On your altar.
I do. I want it. Well, I want it for tarot.
Tarot cards.
Tarot. Even though I don't read tarot. Oh, how cute. Adorable. Oh my goodness, B.
Yeah. And I feel like
yeah.
it's not just Halloween. Like, I feel like we're going to want this all year long. So
We're going to want this all year. Well, I mean, look at over here. I got some stuff. I've got this. This was made by the Roller Derby Witch. And these are these wonderful, I forget what she put in here. I think it's rice. It feels like rice. Anyhow, but I heat it up in the microwave and stick it right here. And it sometimes when I'm having a bit of anxiety, that weighted blanket, sometimes I just kind of put it right here on my chest and warm up and then take my breaths and do my stuff. And it just makes me feel good. Roller Derby Witch, I still got it.
Some Breathe essential oil to just drop on it.
Yep, I know. I love it. It's my little cozy thing.
When you come down to my house, I'll give it to you.
What? You already gave me the deep blue. I've been putting that on. It's been
Isn't
wonderful.
that wonderful?
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
I
It's
know.
just
And how much
muscle
stuff did
cream.
you give me? I mean, come
I
on.
know. It's
I
it's
gotta
an
catch up.
exchange. All right, fine. I'll let you. I love your face.
I love your face.
All right. Have a wonderful night. You have a great one. Talk to you later, ladies. Bye.